All right.
So tonight, we are going to be talking about soft questioning, and I should have an and here, and coaching versus telling kids what to do. Soft questioning is a term that I invented. You won't see it anywhere else because I invented it. And we'll talk to you about what it is. So here we go. All right. So I'm going to turn off people's cameras. There we go. So now you can see everything on the video. Before we talk about the what, we have to talk about the why. So go ahead, Courtney, you want to cover this?
Yes, I will.
Go back and forth.
Sure.
Right.
So with Rett syndrome and many of our children with complex needs, one of the biggest issues that they have is apraxia, which affects all parts of their day. And so when we talk about soft questioning, what happens is we have our kids and our loved ones being told to do things in a directive way. And I'm just saying directive in meaning it's not that people are being mean or anything. It's just they're saying do this or do this or do that. And what happens is that apraxia kicks into gear and then they can't do it because of the stress and because of the anxiety that they feel. So then what ends up happening is you're giving them a directive. They're then turning into apraxia, cannot move, cannot do things because of the apraxia. And then people are thinking that they're then having behavior, and then it becomes this cycle. And so like the behavioral philosophy, like ABA and things like that, are really not very conducive for our children for learning because the apraxia and the behavioral philosophy don't go together. They actually work against each other and are at odds. And so that is why we talk about soft questioning, and that's why we use soft questioning, and you're going to see examples of that tonight. You may see yourself, if you're one of my clients, you may see yourself in some of the videos tonight because there was really great examples of how soft questioning can help, not just with academics, but also with behaviors and with other things that are going on in their body.
There we go. All right, so let me turn the slide here. So there's this kind of like cycle that she was talking about, which this slide which really illustrates. And I think sometimes that teachers get stuck in kind of this cycle, speech therapists get stuck in this cycle. And I think what ends up happening is we don't get the best out of our kiddos. And so I thought really carefully in my early years working with kiddos with Rett about what were the things that I could change in myself that would help to move them along. And this is what soft questioning is all about. It's changing how you word questions instead of asking direct questions. So like, I wonder, or maybe you can see, or I'm thinking, or what are you thinking? Or, I'm not quite sure about this, but what do you think we could do? Or I even use the word, what do we need? What do we need next in this word? It's a little bit stronger than some of these, but the we need, what do we need, means that we're working as a team and it's not you that has to go and get it. And so I think that if we sit back and we really analyze the number of times we tell people to do things versus ask in kind of a circuitous way that doesn't feel as threatening, we will find out kind of what it is that we need to change. So go ahead, Courtney.
All right, so this is one of my kiddos. Her name is Amaya, and we are currently working on sequencing and retelling in our story. And so she is my one who we really have to work on the soft questioning. She is a Spanish speaker in the home, and she's working on her English and her AAC. And so she gets very anxious if she feels like she's getting things wrong or she's not doing right. So you're just going to hear me use some different ways of saying things to get her to participate. We were working on Boardmaker and using the sequencing activity to sequence the activity itself. Susan, if you can press play, please.
Oh, sure. I can do that. I will do that.
That's what happened first. First, Miss Wishy-Washy gave the animals a bath. First, Miss Wishy-Washy gave the animals a bath. Okay. Second, second, ooh, Mrs. Wishy-Washy comes to pick them up in the city. The animal jail van pick them up, or the animals don't like the bath at all. I wonder, maybe it is Mrs. Wishy-Washy comes to pick them up in the city. I wonder if that's what happens second. Yes or no?
Everything.
No. I wonder if maybe it's the animal jail van picked them up. Is that what happened next? Yes or no? Don't knock me over. Don't knock me over. All right, I'm going to wait for you guys to get back to middle and get your body calmed down. You got excited there. Wonder if it's the animal jail van picked them up. Yes or no? No. I wonder if maybe it's the animals don't like the bath at all. Yes or no? Yeah, okay, let's see if you're right.
That's right. The animals don't like that.
Good job, Amaya.
This is more than just in academics. So I think this soft questioning can affect kind of all areas of life. So you mentioned down below when their breath is being held for them. Again, telling them to breathe doesn't really work. But telling them, I see your breath is being held and I'll wait for you is more comforting and more realistic. Because if they could breathe, they would breathe. The harder thing too is all of that movement that we might expect from them. A kiddo taking a step up. For us to say there's a step there, let's get ready to lift our leg. Again, let us get ready. It's like we're not saying get ready, lift your leg. We're really, I think this falls into not just soft questioning, but it falls into coaching, which is why I wanted to kind of add that second piece in. I think any of us, somebody has their microphone on, and we're going to ask you to turn your microphone off because we can hear you in the background. Thank you. I think that we all probably had the experience of learning a new skill. So, I was harking back to when I learned to drive a stick shift, when somebody was yelling at me, foot off the clutch, step on the gas, blah, blah, blah. But coaching me through it, okay, now here's what it's going to feel like. Here's what you can expect. Here's what you're going to try and do. Letting me know in advance what was going to happen was definitely a little bit easier on me learning to drive a stick shift than not. So, again, we're trying to, oh gosh, I'm just like all over the place here. We're just trying to make it a little bit easier for our friends. And I lost my turn the page down at the bottom here. Oh, there it is. Okay, let's see if this one works. Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So let me see.
Is it gonna work?
You did go to school. I'm trying to keep up with your social schedule, girl. Lots of
Something out.
why don't we go over here to the next page where there's lots of different things that you could pick. I wonder what you're trying to tell us that there's lots of at SeaWorld. Stingrays? Yeah.
You're telling me that.
The stingrays are pretty cool.
They're bumpy. I think you were saying they were sharp. Sharp hit on it.
Yeah, you have to be careful of that. We'll wait for you.
And as you can see, Lena is holding her breath right now. Her mom is doing a great job. We're still continuing on. We're just saying we'll wait for you. And you'll see her come back around in just a second once her breath is not being held for her anymore. But it's a great way for her to, just saying that I'll wait really helps her get out of that breath issue. And, again, it sounds so simple, and it's not really soft questioning, but it's that coaching part of it that is actually part of soft questioning that really allows her to just kind of go, okay, they're going to wait for me. I don't have to worry. Okay, I can bring myself out. I can get myself going again.
Yeah, and I want us to understand that I don't think anxiety necessarily triggers the breath hold, but it can definitely sustain and make the breath hold worse. So I think the breath hold comes neurologically from the inability to regulate. Even in our autonomic nervous system, they have trouble keeping in a rhythm, which includes breathing. And so I don't think that when they're anxious, it makes them have trouble breathing, but I definitely know that anxiety can make it worse. Okay, so this is where I kind of popped in about thinking about coaching versus questioning. So I'm pretty consistent about the wording I use when I am asking people to do things. But what I've been noticing probably in the last 3 or 4 years is that I need to be telling them what I see them doing, because they're not often getting that feedback from their body. So reminding them what you'd like them to do. In other words, I see you're looking at the wall. I'm looking at the Toby, or I'm looking at your talker so that we can say something. Lots of times they don't even know they're looking at the wall. Their just head got that way, and it's like, okay, here I am. And now what was I supposed to do? Notice and appreciate what they are doing. Boy, I really see you focusing on the device. But I'm going to show you something, and I need you to look up at this upper corner. I'm going to show you with my cursor where I need you to look. So that I'm not really telling them to look. I'm not really saying, look here, follow this, do this. But I'm starting off with a, boy, I really like your focus. Or I love the way you turned around to join me. Very specific. I wouldn't even just call it praise. It's just very specific acknowledgement of the work that they are doing. Then I wait some more. Because they know who's going to wait and who won't. And the people who won't wait, well, they're not going to get the time of day. I talk a lot about what do we need versus get the. We is much more relationship based. What do we need next to spell this word? What do we think, what do we think is going to happen next? Coaching implies teaching versus ordering people around. And I do think that makes a big difference. And the videos that I chose to kind of show you today were, because I knew that Courtney kind of had some more academic ones, and I think I have one academic one, but I have a couple of kids who really, one's an adult, one's a kiddo, who really struggle to look at their talkers. I mean, it's not, how you see those video clips on, Facebook about somebody on their device and they're just telling everybody all this cool stuff. And you've got the kid who just barely looks at it because maybe they're a walker or maybe because they just haven't figured out how important it is. Well, these are those kinds of kids and people. And I've been really playing in the last probably year with how to help those people and kids move in a certain direction. So here is a little girl who is just really on a not very good language system. So we changed her language system to give her something that's a little bit easier for her to look at and gives her way more language. So these 20 icons that are here are really more than she has on her current language set up in order to talk about a book. And you'll see how she's just thrilled at kind of looking at people's faces. But in order to use her device, she has to learn to shift from the person to the device and back to the person. And that shifting is a motor act as well as oh my gosh, I need to say something, and that's the thing that's going to help me say it. So here's just some coaching I'm doing with her. I really like slap. So I'm going to show you what we're going to do. When you're ready, I want you to look at your talker so I can show you. And I'm going to have you listen first so she can't see me. Story. I saw you going over to look. Can you look a little longer? Story. Yeah, a
story yes, to read, exactly. That's exactly right, Briar. We're going to read that story. And here we go.
So that's I could go on for an hour with that session and how many times I coached her. And one of the things that I did notice about her in particular is sometimes she needs to listen first and then look. She cannot look and listen at the same time. So it helps if I play it. She hears it, she looks, then I model it again. But in that session, she probably used her device to say things about 40 times, which is like an all-time record. So I was really excited.
Let's get some story. You're going to choose, okay? You're going to choose a story. All right, Briar, so here you go. I really like Slop.
I probably have these in
With
reverse.
Piggy and Gerald. I really like Slop. Whoa, that's one story. The other story I have is Nanette's Baguette. It's a rhyming story, and it's very, very... I'll show you on your talker. Are you ready? I'll show you on your talker. I'll wait for you. On your talker, I'll show you. It's very funny. I'm going to listen to funny. I'm going to look at funny. Funny. You're going to look at funny. Ready? Take a look. It's in green. You can see it. The green button. You can see it. Calm your belly and you can see it. Yeah, you can see it. Ready? Take a look. Take a look. Funny. It's a funny book. And I'm so proud of you. You listened to me and you took a look. Yeah, I'm so proud of you. Right, you get to choose then. All right, so should we do I really like Slop, yes or no? Yes, okay, that's a yes. Should we do Nanette's Baguette? Both by Mo Willems, one of my favorites. Yes or no? No, Susan. No. Not that. No. Not that. All right, then I will do. I really like Slop.
Even though I don't. And what I'm trying to do is capturing her look away and using it for a no, because we've got to start translating some of this into language. She's got really good visual attention to people. Now we have to move that to her device so she can talk to people.
Susan,
Right,
hold on
so
just a
this is
second.
it.
Hold on just a second. I'm trying to make sure I'm making sure, because somebody's not seeing the video, so I'm trying to figure out if it's on our end or if it's, like I said, technology's not our friend tonight. Okay, so most everybody's seeing the video. Okay, so we're just one person's having an issue. Okay, I'll figure it out why she's not seeing the video. Thank you.
Okay. So this is a making words activity, and Ashley's doing it. Now you're going to hear me say, what do we need? Now this is a little bit more structured of an activity. We've been working together since she was 5. So I can be slightly more, I don't want to say a word. Whoops, somebody's microphone is on, so we need to get that off. I'm not being really directive, but I can be a little bit more rapid in my pace of asking questions. I'm not having to stretch things out. So we need this letter for cut. Yes or no? Cut. No. Thank you. All right. Do we need this letter for cut?
Yes, I agree. Let's say it slowly. Whoop, you're looking. Oh, it's really hard to hear when you're whining. Cut. Very nice. Hold on, let me get my pencil so I can mark that one off. All right, now we don't want to make the word cut. We want to make the word rut. Be careful you don't drive into a rut and get stuck. Rut. We need to change that first letter for rut. Let's see. Does that say rut? Yes or no? No. That was a big no. Do we need this letter for rut? I don't know. That was a pushback in your seat and pout, so I'm not sure if that was a yes or no. So I need you to sit up so that you can do the rest of your work. Up you go.
So we're actually working from a PT standpoint of having herself push herself up. And she's going to get a little
Miss Allen's going to
sound.
give you a cue, because we can't be waiting around all day. We need you to sit up. Come on, get your body up.
We solved this problem with a little Dyson.
All right, so we need this letter for rut. Yes or no? So this is what you're doing now. So you're looking at the letters, then you're looking away. Then you're looking at the letters, and you're looking away. But that's not a yes or a no. Yes, that is a yes. And that says rut. Now we're going to say it quickly. Ready? Rut. Good job. Good job, good job, good job. All right.
So one of the things that I tend to speak in I messages, in other words, oh, when that whining's going on, I cannot hear anything. Versus stop the whining, da, da, da. If it gets bad, then I go into affect cueing where I'm giving her words to say if there's something going on. But sometimes kids just whine because they whine. I mean, I whine sometimes. But it's hard to hear. And I think that if we state it that way, that I'm having a problem hearing, it's less about their behavior and you wanting to change it. And it's more about, oh, maybe I could do that to help you, Susan. The other thing is her knowing that she was moving her head side to side is really important because that happens to her quite a bit. She doesn't even realize it's happening until I say, okay, this is what I'm seeing, and then she changes her behavior pretty much right away. All right, so this is Harriet. Harriet just got a device like within the last, I don't know, it's less than a year, okay? Less than a year. And she is really going great guns, which is so cool.
We want to hear you. Listen, you can whisper, you can scream, you can shout, you can tell us anything you want. Yeah. We'd rather you didn't yell and whine, we would rather you used your words. And that's what you are learning. You can actions use. I think the word is here. Use your words. Now, I don't know what that is. The word words, let's see if we can find it. Find it. W-O-R-D. Word. Let's find word. I think we're going to find it somewhere. Just be patient. Behind your stool, take a look. When you're looking, then I'll take us through it. I might have hide me. Hold on. There you go. School. English. Accent. And then more. It's right over here. I remember now. There's word. And of course, we're going to do magic words, and you can say words. Use your words. Use your words. That's what we want you to do. We want you to get and scream and whine and crying.
So when she first started, she didn't even look at her device. And now with that coaching and me waiting, I knew where word was, but I'm like taking her through the process because it lights up, it captures her attention, and she can then be more successful. So, I love this quote, so you should get credit for it. You should get credit for it, Courtney, because you found it.
So, I have been working with Rett U for 4 years, and I jokingly say in 2015, when I first met Susan, that was when I got Susan. I got trained on how to do this. And it was the most, when I went back to my classroom and re-established how I was doing things in my classroom and started modeling and started doing soft questioning and doing all of this stuff, it was so awkward and it was uncomfortable and it felt silly and it felt goofy and all that good stuff. You're going to make mistakes. We still do. I don't know about Susan, but I will tell you, I still make mistakes. I'm sure my clients will say it. There's days where I forget.
On the basis.
It just happens. We're human. We still make mistakes. It is okay to make mistakes. It is okay to be awkward. And so we just say, let's be awkward together because we've all been there.
We have all been there.
I think that what's important, and I will move it to the next slide so people can see this. But I think what I'm going to do also is turn back on the cameras in case anybody wants to see us. But it looks like we've lost lots of people.
No, we have 26 people in here.
Oh, okay. So maybe I'm just seeing two of us. That's all.
Do you have just active cameras?
I might have that. But I think that one of the things is that whether you call it soft questioning or whether you just call it being kind, I think the reality is that if somebody is working as hard as they can to learn something, and it takes them a while, plus they have breath holding, plus they have seizures, plus they have, whatever else has been going on with them all day, maybe their stomach is bothering them, the more we hammer at them, the less we're going to get. Now, that isn't to say that I'm not consistent. I mean, I get a lot of work done in an hour with my kids. And when I first start with them, I ease them into me. Because being with Susan can be some very challenging times. But I always keep respect at the top of the list. Is how I say things, how fast I say things, the tone I say things, is essential for their emotional well-being. And a kiddo or an adult that we're working with that is emotionally secure is going to be able to do so much more than one that is frightened. Now, that isn't to say that I don't have kids that are frightened and they'll say to me scared because they're scared to learn a new word or they're scared to try something new. And I say, okay, we're just going to do it scared. You and I will do it together. I will help you, but we're not going to stop because we're scared. But we do acknowledge the anxiety and we try not to make it worse. I think that's the piece that I think is so important. And that's why I think instead of demanding things from our students, we work with them in relationship and support them while we figure it out together. And playing, I always feel sometimes like I'm playing like Columbo. I just got one more question. I know it's like a real pain, but I just have one more. And I kind of make it funny so that they're not feeling put off. So it's been working. That's what I can say. Is I have kids. We both have kids reading, writing, using their devices, and I purposely showed you people that were. One Ashley, who's been with me a long time, who's doing really nicely with her making words, but it wasn't always like that. And then the littles, the little and the older woman who just got a device, and how important it is, especially for those olders, because they know what a mistake is.
Yes.
We get demanding, and we throw them out there a little too much, and they will shut down. They will, 2-year-olds don't shut down, 3-year-olds don't shut down. Adults, teens and adults, they need this kind of soft, humorous approach to kind of keep them pulled in. So these are our email addresses. If you have any questions, we would love to hear from you. Any ideas that you're like struggling with, maybe we answered some questions about questions, but maybe we didn't get to all of the questions. We would love to talk to you off. We're going to turn on your microphone and ask questions, or just email us with ideas. We actually had,
even though we've done a webinar on soft questioning, we actually had more questions about it, which is why we kind of did a new version of it.
We did a short lesson on it during COVID, and then but we've had a lot. It was one of our short how-to lessons. It was like 7 minutes long, and it was just one of those things. We've had so many questions, or I've had people say, "What do you mean by soft questioning?" or all those wonderful things. That it was like, you know what? I think this is what we need to kind of focus on. Giving you guys more of the strategies and supports to help. Those everyday things that are involved with our kiddos.
Yeah, and I think that if you're a teacher, speech therapist, PTOT, and you kind of listen to yourself, you're going to see the number of times you're telling people to do things. And as a parent, with 4 kids, I did tell my kids to do things, but I also did spend time saying things like, when you talk to me that way, it makes it hard for me to listen.
Right.
That was when we got mouthy. Versus telling them, hey, you're not respecting me. It's like, okay, we're not going to get there because they don't really, that isn't their issue. It's trying to build a relationship about how what we're doing together affects both of us. And I think that really resonates. The video I didn't show because it was really long was of an older woman that I'm working with who's 35 who just got her older woman, older than our little bitties, not older than me by any stretch, just got a device. And she actually did something that helped me. When I was talking about something, she said something comforting to me. And I said, wow, that was really cool how you used your words to help me. I bet that felt pretty good because you're always having people help you get to the bathroom, help you eat, help you get into bed, help you. And you just helped me. And if you could, the look on her face was one of just like such gratitude because she's a very sweet lady, a very sweet young woman. And it's important, I think, that we recognize what they are doing too, not what we want them to do. So.
Yes. So, and really quick, a good idea if you're a classroom teacher or a therapist, or even at home. When I was a teacher, I worked with an awesome behaviorist, and the one day he data counted how many times I said "good job" in an hour, and I said "good job" like 300 times in an hour, which is great, very positive. But when you have children who are having issues, that good job is not always helpful. And so it helped me to remember to do more specific praise. So if you're wondering if you're doing a lot of directives, maybe have somebody take, just an hour or even 30 minutes and see how many times you give a directive rather than maybe saying, hey, I think, I see this, or I wonder what this, and that, and see what happens. The other thing I'm going to say is, we have put a couple new shirts in the Girl Power to Cure shop that represent Rett University. One says "Pretty Smart" with Rett being the bigger letters, and then also "I'm a Smarty Pants." So those are available. We're also going to be coming up with some more. Yes, Kanika, if you would like to email me at Courtney@gp2c.org, we can speak about doing a training for school teams. Yes. We do offer school trainings for schools and things like that. So just go ahead and email me, and we will get that set up. Like I said, if there's any, go ahead.
Okay. There was also another question. On the yes no board, Ashley asked, do the small orange rectangles indicate the reader to blend the letters? It indicates the number of letters they're going to need to put to build the word. So it gives them a visual as well as an auditory. One of the things that we have to remember is that when kids are learning to decode that cannot talk, they don't get the benefit of what the letters sound like or the sounds sound like in their mouth. Like the difference between a D and a T is very, very subtle from auditorily, but boy, you can feel it in your mouth. So having that kind of there so that they know how many letters. So if they spell the word rate, R-A-T is what that's what they're hearing, and then they see there's an extra spot, I'll see my kids go, oh, wait a minute, hold on. I'll say, okay, I think you need another letter, and they start thinking about what is it they're going to need. So it's just another clue to kind of give them. And then when they do their spelling, when we're kind of looking at an assessment of what they've learned, they don't have the spaces, but that's for the learning in making words. So hopefully that helps. Okay.
All right. Bye. Have a great evening, and stay tuned for our next event, which will be in
September.
September.
It's already almost September. Have a great night, everybody. Thank you for attending.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Thank you. All right.
So
Hopefully that
trying
no exit. There we go.
So
So hopefully that recorded. I don't know what happened with that one movie because the other one worked fine. So something tells me it's in the it's in that movie for some reason.
Yes, Melanie, it will be on the website. Give me a couple days to get it set up, but it will be on the website.
What was that?
Melanie asked if it's going to be on the website.
Yes, it will be. We'll get it there for you. All right. Good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye. Hey Candace, will you ask Evie if it's okay to share the video she made me about asking me to push her in the Disney ? I was going to use it to do some fundraising if that's okay, but I would like to know that it's okay with Evie first.